1 pound of, this is a pound pack actually, of dry chana that was pressured for an hour because I forgot to soak it overnight. So if you didn't soak it, you gotta pressure it a little longer so it's nice and I'll pick one up. Nice and soft. 2 large cloves of garlic chopped. I just did a salt and pepper mix, so I'm just gonna use that. You can use that to your taste. I'm probably gonna use about half a teaspoon or so. This is 1 small yellow onion diced. We have some coriander, some jeera seeds or cumin seeds. This is some fresh organic celery. My flavors of Guyana, I remember a lot of celery. So celery, dried thyme. My thyme has dried up, so I'm using dried thyme. That is 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, tablespoon and a half of scallions, and that is 1 bird's chili, or it's like a ripe Thai chili chopped. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so I toasted the cumin seeds for about 30 seconds. That's about half a teaspoon of cumin seeds. So now I added the onions. Let's get all of that in there. And so I want this to render quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and add maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and pepper, my little mix. And I want to get that sweating. So I'm adding that to the pan. And I'm just going to let that cook for a while. So this is like a really quick saute. And I'm going to want these onions a little translucent, but I still want them to have texture. So normally I would sweat onions for about 2 minutes. I'm not going to do that here because I actually want them to have a little bit of texture. So then I'm going to go ahead and add my celery. Get that working, and it starts to smell really good. And so now we got the celery working. And I'm gonna just let that do its thing for a couple of seconds. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic. So I never really want to add the garlic directly with the onions because the garlic cooks quickly and that's gonna burn. So let's add the garlic. Get that doing its thing. Nice and aromatic. Marinate. Now for the thyme. So also with the thyme, you never want to add it to hot oil or it spatters. The same reason I don't add the chilies to the hot oil directly, because then it releases that capsaicin and then it's going to burn my eyes. So I don't want that. So I just want this to heat through. Now that we have everybody talking. And let that do its nice sizzle bizzle. Make sure I get all of this oil in here. So now I'm going to go ahead and release the chilies because now I want it to release. But I'm not adding it to a super hot pan. As you can see, The heat now is on about a medium, so it's not as hot, so it's not going to burn my eyes. So it's not the first thing I put in the pan. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. So I'm going to let that sit and sizzle and do its thing for a second. And I'm going to add that other, about a quarter teaspoon of salt to help it along. So it's getting nice and fun. And now we're going to come with the chickpeas that I pressured. So if you're using canned chickpeas, for me the texture is still a little, it's still a little too, sorry, I'm going to dump it out that way. I apologize. It's still a little too hard. I'm not really a fan of straight canned chickpeas. So even if I use the straight canned chickpeas, I'm still going to actually boil it or pressure it for 15 minutes. Or I boil it for about 30 minutes. Because I like it softer. Especially if you're going to do the Guyanese style fried Channa. You need it a little softer. Not mushy, as you can see. This is not mashing, but it's much softer than if you just opened a can. All right. So I'm actually going to add the scallions now. Doop, right on the top. And you can also add peppers to this. Bell peppers or something like that. That's just not, traditional. That's not the way we do it. But you can now bulk it up, especially if you're going to make it a meal. I would add peppers. You can add your favorite herbs. If you like cilantro instead, you can actually add that, or basil. You can add zucchini pieces. You can do all of that. So I'm actually going to let that do its thing for a minute. And I'm going to let that cook through. And I'm going to get the lid and cover it. And then we're going to see what we have afterwards. Alright, so I left it to cook for 7 minutes on low. And as you can see, it's now done. Because I wanted those flavors to kind of marry in there. And now it's done. So this is what we have. Let me give it a quick stir. So you can see the heat and what's happening here. Give it a little sizzle, as you can see. So I wanted everything to kind of cook through and for the beans to, or the peas actually, to get all that flavor in. And I'm going to show you, I'm serving this up with some protein, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing next. But this is a meal all by itself in Guyana, or you have this as a snack with some sour, like aka mango chutney or tamarind chutney. We call it tamarind sour and mango sour. But anyway, this is what you got. So yeah, feel free to bulk it up with veggies. You can add carrots to this. Like I said, zucchini, peppers, or you could leave it traditional style the way it is. So this is what we got. Jerk chicken, some Guyanese style fried chana, and a little salad, salt and pepper. So that's how easy that was. Yum, yum, yum. I hope you make this.